We can make you believe we know what we're doing, when in fact, we do not. Whoops, I have no idea what these...
Man, these people took my kids from me, then they froze my bank account. I got so much anger in me, got no way to take it out. Think I'm stuck in a matrix, where the fuck's my nitrous? Yes, I am a cook, I like when people fuck on my dick. The shit that I'm posting on Twitter, they telling me, hey, don't say that. How niggas can't see me in public, I'm driving an all-chrome Maybach. With all of the money and fame, I still can't get my kids back. With all of the money and fame, I still don't get to see my children. Niggas see my Twitter, but they don't see how I be feeling. So I became a Nazi, yeah, bitch, I'm the villain. Nigga, how Hitler? Nigga, how Hitler? They don't understand the things I say on Twitter. Nigga, how Hitler? They don't understand the things I say on Twitter. All my niggas Nazis, nigga, how Hitler? Nigga, how Hitler? Nigga, how Hitler? All my niggas Nazis, nigga, how Hitler? She wanna fuck in Japan, I put the chrome on the Benz. Nigga, how Hitler? She reaching down in my pants, she got the world in her hands. Nigga, how Hitler? Nigga, how Hitler? Nigga, how Hitler? All my niggas Nazis, nigga, how Hitler? Nigga, how Hitler? Nigga, how Hitler? All my niggas Nazis, nigga, how Hitler?
Damn, Chad, I'm chop shit now, bro. I'm chop shit. Bad. The fuck? Y'all know what I'm working with, though. The last of this Aphie. I got a finesse for another John. The last of this Aphie, bro. A real rap, how Hitler dumps, bro. I don't know what to tell y'all. Oh, Max B too? How Max B hop up on there? Oh, alright. I hope they don't copyright my shit. I throw some Max B on. You heard? First L with the braces, chat. First joint. Shit feel weird. Be tweaking out, spend and get the money. Honey, it's funny. Nah, real talk, I fucks with Max B, but I need to listen to this John, bro. Cause they finally addressing this ceasefire bullshit, bro. I've been seeing how Israel done violated that shit mad times, and no one has said a word, bro. We just all been waiting, so I'm about to listen to see what Nick Fuentes got to say about it after I roll this gas up. Smoke, listen, chest, same shit, y'all know. You feel me? This will be a quick John though, cause I got something to do in like 28 minutes, something like that. I gotta get working on this fucking website, bro. As you can see, the drone look nice. It looks nice, a little template joint, but they got all these white people posted that I don't know, and this is a template, so whatever's on here is just bullshit. So, but you hit with oh, hold up. She wanna fucking show this, but like this what it looked like so far, yo. I'm bitching to edit any of these because look, see now I got the now I got the dashboard on here. I was able to fix that. But yeah, this nigga in like couple like 30 minutes or something. I'm supposed to have a Zoom call with him. Oh God, I almost dropped the last of my AFI on the carpet, bro. That'd have been over with. That's crazy, bro. I would have crashed out right now. Damn, I almost dropped the last of the AFI, bro. That'd have been crazy. That'd have been crazy. But yeah, I mean, check the joint out. Like it's not smooth, but UFApost.org, you know what I'm saying? Go click around, go read some of this shit. I mean, it's all just a template, so it ain't gonna be nothing that I really put on there, but it do got my phone number for whatever reason. It got my email y'all can reach me at, you feel me? But I gotta fix these though, I ain't gonna lie. I gotta get in there, but and the reason why I'm waiting for Cuz is cause when I was editing it first, I put in so much work, bro. I had this drawing like damn near finished, I felt like. But the homepage was fucked up, so I had to restart everything, bro. And I'm just not doing that again.
Wednesday, we have a lot to talk about tonight, lots to get into. Big show. Tonight, we're going to be talking all about the wars in Gaza and Ukraine, which I'm actually glad to do. Last night, we talked a little bit about a lot of this, like, Republican infighting, the Gavin.
Yo, the worst part about having the last of your AFI is like you got like a little bit of scraps left over, and it's like, do I force that in the blunt, or do I just put that away for the next AFI? I'm gonna put it away for the next AFI, but that's only for time reasons. I'm gonna be honest. I'll see what I'm working with, chat. Hold up. I hope my first fucking chess game on white pieces. I need a couple checkmates, man. I went down to Elo, bro. I'm below 200 now. It's crazy. $25 with braces, bro. I'm chopped unk, bro. That's crazy. All right, here we go. We rolled up. Let's get this shit popping, man. We rolled up.
Thing, Paul Ingracia's nomination, and I said last night it was a very important show, but to be honest with you, that kind of thing is boring.
Of course I'm fucking black, bro.
And so we're going to be doing a very important show. Big show. We're going to be talking all about the major wars that are going on. Our featured story, we're talking about the state of the Gaza ceasefire. It's not good.
Damn.
And it looks like it might be on the brink of collapse. There's a number of developments we're going to discuss in connection with that. Among them, that there have been no fewer than 80 violations of the ceasefire by Israel since it went into effect last week.
What the fuck? Hold
80
up.
violations. And we talked a lot about the ceasefire last week and the week before that. We talked about this 20-point plan. And if you recall, although there was all this hype and big international trips and meetings and fanfare, broad agreement apparently between Muslim Arab countries, Israel, the United States. In spite of all this, there is very little that was actually agreed upon by the two parties, almost nothing actually. And although there's 20 points, they're only implementing a couple of them. And even the implementation of these 2 or 3 points, there's no details, there's no timeline. And so I said from the very beginning, if the deal is short on details, if there's not an agreement in principle on any of the longer term or major points, it's not going to last very long. And it's going to be more like a temporary ceasefire than anything like a comprehensive peace or peace agreement. And now here we are. Among those few points that were actually agreed upon, much of it there is no agreement, not in principle, not in writing. Among the couple of points that are actually being implemented are that the fighting stops. But the fighting hasn't stopped. Israel accuses Hamas of attacking the IDF. Hamas accuses Israel of bombing Gaza repeatedly, like I said, up to 80 times. So even the few things that have actually been agreed to are
Damn,
not being
I'm already
implemented.
in a bad spot,
And so
bro.
this
I've been
past
ass
week,
lately.
J.D. Vance, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, they all flew to Israel. And they flew there. They didn't say this, but this is what everybody understood it to mean. They flew there to make sure that Israel is actually going to abide by the deal. It was a form
Had to
of soft
sacrifice my
pressure
night there, bro.
on the
Crazy.
Israeli government.
Wasn't even trying to do
And they
that.
had to do that because they recognized that the Netanyahu regime
Let's
might
see what I'm
pull
working
out
with. This
at
joint
any
kind of fat,
moment.
though.
So we'll talk about all that. We'll talk about the state of the deal. We'll talk about some of these major developments that have taken place since the agreement went into effect. We'll give you an overview. It almost collapsed altogether.
Oh my God, I'm retarded.
Said that Hamas attacked them 3 times in a coordinated way in a single day, and then they came out and bombed everybody that was
Wow.
near those attacks. The whole thing almost came crumbling down just a couple of days ago. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the rest of it. We're also going to talk tonight about the state of the Ukraine war. Same deal, man. Same exact situation. There was
Damn, bro.
supposed to be a
Cooked.
high-level meeting this week, first between the Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, and that was supposed to be the prelude to another summit between Trump and Putin in Budapest, in Hungary.
I got something
That
working
was
here,
supposed
though.
to happen this week. They canceled it. They
What was that, the
canceled
yellow
both.
one? Yeah, yep.
So there was no meeting between
I hate
the
that cat,
foreign
yo.
ministers. There was no meeting between the heads of state.
Just spray him with some water or
And
alcohol or
actually,
something.
the opposite has happened. Trump has put sanctions
Fucking
on
throw him
Russia's
outside. Open the
energy
door. Let him go
companies, their oil
outside.
companies. And
Let
apparently,
him go outside.
although it's not 100% confirmed, according to the Financial Times,
This
Trump
nigga
has
don't even see what I got
reauthorized
going on.
Ukraine
He's
to
tripping.
use long-range missiles and strike deep inside Russian territory. So Ukraine is now bombing Russia again. There are more sanctions against Russia.
Yo, I'm actually
even
getting
than
cooked.
there
This
were
is
under
terrible.
the Biden administration, and the meeting is off. So it looks like the war is going to keep going for the foreseeable future. Golden Age. The Golden Age is here, we're told. So we'll talk about that too. Should be a pretty good show. I have to say, this administration is not doing well. I don't know
I
how
think I
people
see a
are coping
checkmate.
with this.
I
It
think.
seems a little trite to say it. Here we are, 8 months in, and I've been saying it since day one.
I think
But
I
when
see
are we
one.
actually getting anything that was promised here? Across the board, and it looks like not only are the staples, the core promises not being delivered on, like the war in Ukraine is going on, the war in Gaza might come back,
I think I go
but there's
here.
actually new problems that weren't even
And then
in
I throw this
contention. You
here.
might say these are secondary problems. They're now talking about regime change in Venezuela.
No, I
So
don't
the
see a
foreign
win here.
policy
Fuck.
is in the toilet. The whole thing. No peace in Russia. The Gaza ceasefire gave Trump a little bump in the polls, and I think there's a lot of optimism about it, but very risky, very shaky ground there.
Yeah,
And
I
then there's
definitely
a third
think.
war that we didn't even anticipate that's about to pop off, regime change in South America.
Definitely
So
think I go checkmate.
we'll talk about that. We're not
Check.
Venezuela. We'll talk about the rest of it. Should be a big show. Before we get into it, I want to remind you to smash the follow button on Rumble, smash the like button, leave a comment. Let me know what
Nah,
you think
smash the
about
like button
show.
on my fucking YouTube.
Remember to check out our store, Fuentes.store, to get your hats. Order them now in time for the holiday season. This month has flown by. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it was just summer, and now it's winter. It's getting cold out here. It's like 50 degrees in Chicago. I felt like just yesterday it was 100 degrees here, and now it's already November. It's already Halloween.
Chat, do y'all see it win,
Thanksgiving,
bro?
So get the
I feel like
hats.
even
We
though
also
he's
have
in,
a brand new
I feel like I'm in
shirt
better
on the
position
store. We
even
have
though
a
he
new
has my
flag,
rookie night.
and people are loving both of them. They love the flag. It's the Know Nothings flag. Beware of foreign influence. Very cool. I love the flag. And we have a brand new shirt. White ass niggas going hard as fuck. Check that out.
No, I think I
That's
go.
Fuentes.store. Subscribe to the website, AmericaFirst.plus. If you're a super fan of the show, become a plus subscriber. AmericaFirst.plus. $100 a month. You get
Can't go
access to
here.
a group chat with me.
Can't go
And I
there.
was in the group chat all day
Has to
today.
go
I was
there.
sending voice memos. I'm basically like doing a show in the group chat because I leave these like 30-minute voice notes, and I'm just talking about
Go
Tim
here.
Pool, Tucker Carlson. I'm talking about all the inside stuff.
He goes
And I'm
there.
giving
Wow,
you
what a risky
bonus
motherfucker.
content. That's the $100 a month club. If you are poor, you can subscribe for $15
If you are
a month
poor,
and get access to
this
the
nigga
entire
crazy.
archive of the show, every episode I've ever done. Going all
Damn,
the way
he
back
gonna
to
send it too.
2017. It's
No,
like
he's gonna send
5,000
it.
hours of content. So check it out,
I'm gonna just
AmericaFirst.plus.
go here then.
What else is going on?
Yeah, because I don't
I am
trust that
back.
nigga. He's gonna go queen for
I
queen.
know
I
I
don't
haven't
trust
been
that
doing the
nigga.
show a lot past couple weeks, but I'll be here the rest
I
of
don't
the week.
respect the
I'll be
motherfucker that
here
goes
all
queen for
throughout
queen
next
unless they
week.
have to.
So the show is fully
I don't
back.
respect
I hope
this
you're
randomly
excited
going
about
queen for
that.
queen.
The other thing I wanted to talk about just briefly, and I want to be very intentional, and I want to choose my words carefully here, because look, I don't want to get my ass kicked. I don't want to get punched in the face. I don't want to get beat up. So I want to be careful about how I choose my words and what I'm about to say. Did you guys see Tucker Carlson's appearance at Turning Point USA yesterday? And I watched it, and it was pretty good. He didn't do a speech.
No.
He just gave a question and answer session. He debated some of the students. But there
Should
was
we
one
listen to
clip
that?
from the appearance that really stood out to me.
It gotta be the
There
drum
was
where they
this
talk about his
frat
dad.
bro type guy, a total Chad. He's in like a Nike tech suit.
Yeah, fuck. I seen that
and
clip.
seemed like a real bro.
I seen that clip. I played that real quick. I seen that shit. I knew exactly what he was talking about. Right away. Right away, I knew exactly what he was talking about. Chill.
Just don't see a lot of change. So I kind of just don't see a lot of change between, the Biden administration and now the Trump one in foreign policy. We're still giving a shit ton of money to like Israel and Ukraine. Nothing is happening. The war's not stopped. He promised it'd be done in a day, and it's, I don't know, how many months? 8 months or something like that. It's a long time. Your dad was in the CIA, and I was wondering, does our government even want war to stop? Do they want conflicts to end? It seems like we have a difference of interest where we're getting told one thing and the other is happening. And I feel like there's not enough communication between different sects of government, and I
Yeah,
really
this is
think
fucking
the deep
ass.
state's
I ain't gonna
controlling
lie.
everything, and we have no control.
Well, let me start at
Fuck.
obviously,
Do I got it? Can I
you
check him
probably
here?
sense that I agree with a lot of that.
definitely
Obviously, leave my father
can.
out of it. I'm gonna have to kick your ass, which I could do, by the way, if you bring him up again, because he was a wonderful man, whatever he did for a living. So I really do hate that.
He said he gonna kick his ass. I call Cap. He ain't say shit to Nick yet, and he about to bring it up.
And the guy comes up to the microphone during the question and answer with Tucker. Huge audience, by the way, 3,500 people, massive event, huge audience, really impressive. So this frat bro comes up to the microphone and he says, you know what, Tucker? He goes, it feels like things don't change. We elected Trump, but we're still at war in Ukraine. They can't end the war in Gaza. They're doing regime change in Venezuela. He goes, your dad is in the CIA. He said it just like that. He said, so why does it feel like nothing ever changes? It seems like the deep state always wins. The wars go on. Nothing actually changes. What is it going to take for things to change? I don't know. That seems like a reasonable question. That's true. All of it is true. The war in Ukraine is going on. The war in Gaza might resume at any time. And we know even if it doesn't, the war in Iran is about to break out again. War in Venezuela is ongoing. And it is true. It's just a fact. Tucker's dad is in the CIA. It's just true. Okay, we all know that now. Now we all know that. And Tucker replies to the question. And he says, I agree with a lot of what you just said. He said, but if you bring up my dad again, I'll kick your
Y'all see me
ass.
saving my
I
queen
mean
here,
it.
bro? This is
Seriously,
crazy.
don't test me, son. And
I
I
got
saw
2
this
minutes,
clip
so
and
I
I'm
gotta
like,
think
whoa, what's with the reaction? That's crazy. He goes, my father was a good man, whatever his job was. I don't think anybody said otherwise. I didn't hear that. And I saw that clip, and then I saw another clip.
Damn, that's
there was
crazy.
like a left-wing
Tables turned
student,
quick
and he
as
was
fuck.
giving Tucker a hard time. But he said, you're worth $50 million. And Tucker said, hey, don't believe everything you read on the fucking internet. I'm not worth $50 million. Whoa, okay, sorry. Sorry, you're worth $25 million. My mistake, sorry. And, you know, look, I'm sure that Tucker's dad was a good man. I read Tucker's eulogy to his father. It was very beautiful. It was very touching.
That's gay.
And I don't think that I've ever attacked Tucker's father. I don't think this student was attacking the father. What does it mean to attack somebody? Is it an attack to acknowledge a very powerful person's pedigree? Isn't that not relevant? Some people might say, no, it's not relevant.
How did I turn
I
this
disagree.
game around,
I think
bro?
it's
That's
very
crazy.
relevant.
I was not trying to lose this. This is my
I think
first
that
game,
who your
too.
parents are tells you a lot about
I'm not
who
losing
you
the
are.
time either. I'm getting a checkmate.
And I think that's
This nigga got all pawns and a fucking queen. I got both bishops and a rook. That's a good draw.
No bullshit, like, motherfuckers like, now y'all just big, because when I be saying I'm sad, I'm really sad, y'all just play real.
Alright, I think I gotta move this fucking... Yeah, why does shit just stop?
I'm sure that Tucker's dad was a good man. I read Tucker's eulogy to his father. It was very beautiful. It was very touching. And I don't think that I've ever attacked Tucker's father. I don't think this student was attacking the father. What does it mean to attack somebody? Is it an attack to acknowledge a very powerful person's pedigree? Isn't that not relevant? Some people might say, no, it's not relevant. I disagree. I think it's very relevant. I think that who your parents are tells you a lot about who you are. And I think that
Oof. Yeah, that's a ghetto ass fucking song, bro.
I think certainly if you are somebody that is constantly critiquing the deep state and the wars and all these things, and you yourself applied for the CIA, I think that maybe becomes very relevant if you've got a background with that. If you come from that, I think that might be relevant. And so I saw these clips from the debate, or the Q&A session, I guess you could call it, this Turning Point event, and I said, why is he so defensive about those things? I think those are fair questions, but I saw the reaction, and the first guy says, your dad's in the CIA. He goes, I'll kick your ass. It's like it's a college student. It's some like Chad frat bro, whatever, dude. You know, and Tucker says, I'll kick your ass. The other guy says, you're worth a lot of money. Fuck you. Don't believe what you read on the internet. And I'm like, where is this coming from? And I'm going to be honest with you. One of my issues with Tucker, although I think both of us are generally pushing in a similar direction, we're both very opposed to war with Iran. I think we're both critical of the Trump administration. We probably agree on maybe 90% of things. But I think a valid critique is if you're going to engage in a structural critique of power And by that, you could say a populist critique of the economic system, a political critique of the permanent bureaucratic state. If you're going to engage in that kind of structural critique of power, it just has to be acknowledged that you're from that world. In other words, if you're going to rail about the 1%, it's kind of relevant that you are the 1%. If you're going to rail against the deep state, it's kind of relevant that you are from the deep state. And I don't know why he's so allergic to acknowledging that. And there's sort of something actually disturbing about how it seems that there is this facade, which is flip-flops, dog, checkered shirt, navy blazer. And okay, I mean, maybe that's authentic. But there's a sort of deliberate attempt to say, I'm folksy, I'm plain-spoken, I'm like you guys. But then when somebody says, well, to be fair, you're very rich and you come from that world, you come from a government family, you get this anger, this wild lashing out. How dare you acknowledge that? And then, oh, sorry. Oh, whoops, I got a little angry there. It's like, okay, I don't know. It's like those videos of like when they say a shapeshifter, their face changes and their reptilian form is revealed. I'm not saying he's a reptilian, but I don't know why he's not comfortable acknowledging those things. Because, and I'll tell you why specifically, I'm willing to believe that he's a class traitor, as it were. I might be more willing to believe that he's a good faith actor. And he says, you know what, look, I'm very rich. I come from a government family, but the system's corrupt. And the people are right. And like, okay, that I can get behind. That makes sense to me. I don't think it's insane to say that there are rich people and there might even be people from the government that become defectors. I don't think that's outside the question. But I think people start to get skeptical and cynical about it when it seems like there's some defensiveness or there's a lack of complete transparency. Later in the event, he said, I lived in D.C. my whole life. I come from a government family. And it's like, wait a second, so you can acknowledge it, but if someone else asks you, you're going to get punched in the face? I thought that was a little inappropriate. And a little confusing. I don't think that really gels with the rest of the image.
I'm an idiot. I could have.
So I saw that clip and I was a little bit taken aback by that. And you had to know that question was coming. If you're Tucker, and given, I'm sure he saw my video about him. I'm sure, he saw some of the scrutiny about that. He had to know that something like that was coming, whether in good faith or in bad faith, whether from the right or from the left. He had to know that something like that was coming his way if you're doing a public event where you open it up for questions. It seemed like he was unprepared for that, and there was this flash of anger, and I thought that was a little strange. And I'm not trying to concern troll or tone police. I'm not trying to be, insincere when I say that, but it was a bizarre interaction. So if you haven't seen it, go watch the clip. Little bit bizarre. The guy said, yeah, so it seems like nothing ever changes. Your dad's in the CIA. And he goes, I'll kick your ass. And I wish I could. I would come down there. He said, don't test me, son. Okay, like, what's that? What is that all about? That was a little weird. So some people are saying maybe we'll do a show together. Is he going to beat me up? Is he going to punch me in the face? Now I'm a little nervous. Am I going to get my ass kicked because I said that in my show? So I guess we'll see. But anyway, I saw that clip and a little bit bizarre. Let me know what you think. Obviously, I'm biased, and I'm biased because me and Tucker have had this feud, this kind of behind-the-scenes feud for a couple of years now. He's been saying bad things about me. I've been saying bad things about him. I don't think that's really outside of bounds to say that about his family. It's not like people are saying your dad is a jerk. People are saying, you come from a government family. That's what that is. That's fair. It's fair to say that Obama's dad was like a communist or whatever, It's fair to bring those things in my opinion. I think that's very relevant to that conversation. It wasn't, maybe it was flippant, but I don't think it was derogatory. I don't think he said it in necessarily a pejorative way. So you tell me what you think if that was an inappropriate reaction. I saw some people say that was just a joke. It didn't come across like a joke to me, but maybe it was. Maybe it was and it didn't play well, but it didn't seem that way. Anyway, so that's that. But I do want to move on. I want to get into our big news for the night. We're going to talk all about Ukraine and Gaza. I guess we'll get into Gaza first. That's the one that everybody wants to hear about. And I think that's kind of the biggest news in the world right now. We've entered into a new phase of this Middle Eastern conflict where it seems, at least for now, that things are winding down and de-escalating. As you know, a couple of weeks ago, Trump announced with the Prime Minister of Israel, Bibi Netanyahu, a ceasefire to the war. It's a 20-point plan. It was endorsed by most of the Muslim and Arab countries in the world. It was agreed upon by both Israel and Hamas. And as I said before, the 20-point plan is light on details, which is a major flaw. It does not have a concrete timeline or any timeline. It does not have any specificity about a Palestinian state, which is the fundamental question, which is at stake in the Israel-Palestine conflict. It does not have any specifics or details about the day after in Gaza. Who will rule Gaza? Who will govern Gaza? What does the future look like there? Very light on details. And what's more, the actual points that have been agreed upon by both parties, it's only a few of them. And these are the same points that were agreed upon in all the previous ceasefires which fell through. And by that I mean, throughout this 2-year conflict, there have been short-term truces. And they look like this. Hamas gives up some hostages. Israel might give up some of their prisoners. And they agree to stop fighting for a short period of time while they work out a longer-term deal. That has actually happened 3 or 4 times.